Hello, dear people. Insert cool and catchy intro here. Hello, dear. I want to build weapons. This time they're not for me, but for my sister. Not so long ago, I built Cloud's Buster Sword. My sister is an Aerith cosplayer, and she hinted to me that she wanted to have her weapon as well. So being the big sister that I am, of course I'm gonna make it for her. And we're gonna need a broomstick. This is exactly the same one that I used for the Buster Sword. I decided to make the default wand because it's kind of her signature weapon. To roughly part it into 5 sections, we have the middle, which is the grip. Then if we move outward, this is the thinnest section. And then we have both ends, which are the thickest section. The whole design is symmetrical, which is actually harder than making it asymmetrical. But that's not gonna stop me. I believe in myself. Oh my god, my back. Let's first cut apart a couple of foam pieces. First, I used 10mm EVA foam. I cut out big sheets as well as tinier ones. I'm very glad to have bought a Dremel because I cannot keep these edges like this. So I sanded them down and now they look way cleaner than before. I applied some heat to seal the surface. It basically makes it look shinier. Here's the difference. It's definitely noticeable. And then I tried to form it into pipes. The hardest part was to actually form it into a tight roll because since it's 10mm thick, it's pretty hard to bend, even with heat. And since I glued the whole thing together with hot glue, I know I'm supposed to use contact cement. Don't blame me, this room does not have good ventilation. It was honestly a pain to glue this together. All of my fingers are pretty sore because of that. I basically had to violently press together the ends so they would somehow stick together. Well, that was a pain. I was left with very ugly edges and I thought some foam clay would fix it, because foam clay always fixed it. Not this time. The foam technique did not work this time. And then I took a closer look at the staff. I noticed that it actually does have some kind of pattern on there. So I just cut out some sheets out of 2mm EVA foam, wrapped it around the whole thing, and there we have it. It looks almost clean. To close the top off, I simply added 5mm EVA foam circles, and that's it. Now I have 2 funny pipes that sound like the plastic pipes that you make sounds with. Moving on from the biggest parts, we have the second biggest parts, which serve as materia slots. I just used the same technique again. The only difference being that I cut out holes from the middle, because of course the materia have to fit in somehow. By coincidence, I found exactly 2 green gemstones in my room. I fit them in there and this kind of looks unfinished. So I changed the design up a bit and added circles using 2mm foam on top, and that's what they look like now. Yeah, they're just pretty. I cut apart 5mm EVA foam, glued them together and had these circles. Now that I have all this finished, I can spray it. If you haven't watched any of my crafting videos, this is what I use for foam priming. This is the only flexible spray that was suitable for foam, because foam bends. My local store has mostly non-flexible spray primers. This is not even a primer, but it works. This is not how it's gonna look in the end, but this is gonna help me for spraying. I know that my base is going to get stained. This is gonna be an issue. Where was I? Yeah, paint is going to get on here, but this primer is actually removable from hard surfaces, so you can just peel it off. If you can peel it off cars, I just hope that you can peel it off this broomstick. We'll see. Oh, I need a tool to open this. Yes. Now I have to wait for it to dry. It has to dry once again. I'm having a déjà vu. Since the design isn't too complicated, I was basically almost finished. There was only one thing missing, which is the middle part, which consists out of leather. Luckily, I still have some fake leather leftovers from Cloud, so I just wrapped a strip around there, and it wasn't long enough. But don't worry, I had enough to finish it up. And then it was time to slide the elements onto there. I covered some of them with 2mm foam on the inside, so they would not slide off. And yeah, then I was basically finished finished, but something was missing. And I didn't want to make it look too rough, but I still decided to add some black paint. And I think I used just the right amount. So here it is. Now it looks finished. That was actually easier than I thought. It took me roughly 2 days. Even though the design is pretty simple, I hope she's gonna be happy about it. But I'm just getting started here, because there's another weapon that I want to make her. It's a thing that she requested quite a while ago. The item in question is a scythe.
Scythe.
I'm gonna make a scythe for her. I have never built a
Scythe
before. But I think I can do it. Remember when I cut down this pipe? My guess is that it's probably a bit above 160 centimeters, which is perfect. Because 2 meters, like it originally was, would be way too long. 160 is here, and the PVC pipe is 165.7. Wait, did I shrink? Originally, it was 2 meters long, which is exactly the height of this measuring stick. And here we have 165. Great. I already have a plan, but I don't have enough foam. For my big sword, I used 5mm foam as outer sheets and 10mm foam to stabilize it. And now I'm gonna use cardboard, stabilize it with 10mm EVA foam. This paper is also gonna be part of it, but that's for later. This length should be great. I just have to shape it a bit. The challenge here is going to be that the shape is pretty much organic, which means no straight lines, which means this is going to be hard. Let me cut this out first. This is a great start. I need a second one. It still looks pretty decent, but this is just the base. The thickness of the pipe is probably exactly 2 centimeters, which means... What does that mean? I'm gonna let you guess what this is for. Either you have no idea, or you remember when I built the sword. But that doesn't matter, because I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna cut out the circles, but we actually don't need the circles. We need the frame. Now that I have a bunch of these, I can glue them on my base, one after another. And I made a mistake. My thought behind this was fitting the pipe in there, but my actual plan is to attach something up here so that the blade won't be able to spin around the pipe. Okay, this is better. What about if we add another pipe? Yeah, why not? Okay, so logically, I connected the pieces on the bottom with the pieces on top. And I closed it off with just additional foam. Now I have this. Now I'm just gonna use some foam to stabilize it a bit and then add the second layer. There it is, the base of the base. I basically want to give this a gothic kind of look. Maybe I'm gonna make it look like a bat. I don't know yet. I'm gonna add an element here, maybe here, and maybe here. This is how long this thing is. It's almost as long as the entire shelf. I covered a good part of it. I really did not have enough foam, so I partially used fake leather. As you can see, there's still a free area here. That's because I want to add reflective paper later. But first, I'm going to take care of this part. I have kind of a plan what to put here. I need foam, but to make the foam actually stick to the PVC pipe, I have to sand it down a bit. Ah, this feels and sounds like long fingernails scratching onto something. This is enough. I'm gonna show you some magic. Physics. Well, I have a tiny piece of 5mm EVA foam here. Ow! Oh. Don't just put hot glue into your hands, kids. I swear I have to do something about my choice of glue, but not today. First of all, I need more foam. Cut off the edges. Then I'm gonna glue it on here. And now I'm gonna show you what I want to do. I have this foam piece. And I want to attach it here and wrap it all the way down to the bottom. This is taking forever. Let me add more foam and then it should be ready for sanding, heat sealing and painting. I heat sealed the entire surface, and after that was done, I refined the edges with foam clay and most importantly, this thing in the middle, which I decided to transform into a snake head. Well, well, well. I'm gonna open my windows. This is my last chance to spray anything indoors. It's gonna be really hot in the next few days and spraying indoors would be a nightmare. Attention, I'm gonna prime it first and I just hope that I'm not going to spray my shelf. Let's just try it out. Those are her favorite colors. If you wonder what these white areas are, that's tape, because I need these areas to stay somewhat free of paint. I want the bottom part of the blade to be purple and the top part to be black. Oh god, let me show you how bad the floor looks. Okay, of course, if I'm spraying horizontally, the mist will scatter across the whole room. So the best I can do for the handle is to lay it down on the floor. What I'm gonna do now is prime this first with actual PVC primer. I actually tried it on a pipe before, which is this one, and I barely managed to get some scratches into there. This is good stuff. Probably not for the human body, but for PVC pipe. It's probably better for me to also use eye protection. Looking great. Did you hear that? That was my foot. Honestly, the worst part is that I have to wait for it to dry. Would you look at that? Time for some color. Ah, there's the red paint. Trust me, just trust me, please. Between the red and the black, there's going to be purple. Look at that, wow! Oh god, my floor. Let's see if the weather prediction is right and the next day of recording will actually be way too warm for me. It's alright. The whole thing is now completely colored and we're gonna add shading now. I don't know how to handle these pools of paint yet, but before we do that, let me pull the tape off. Now watch me take this mysterious paper. I'm gonna cut 2 triangles out of it and voila, it fits perfectly in here. Here's one as well. I think it contrasts the rest perfectly. We can finally get to painting. The paint job is usually my favorite task because at this stage I feel like I really know what I'm doing. The basic rules I've set up for myself are pretty simple. I use dark color to paint all the inner edges and a bright color to paint all the outer edges. I simply used a silver pen, applied it to the edges and smudged some of it so I have a nice contrast of sharp and smooth edges. I still wanted to improve this part here, so I cut out a pattern out of black paper and the paper was pretty thick and it took forever, but I managed to do it. Then I just had to cut it in place it onto the shiny paper. Now the color is basically shining through. The cherry on top was to add red gemstones to give the snake-like thing here eyes. Now that everything's clean, I can continue. This is now completely dry, and now look at the finished result. It's not entirely finished yet. We still have this part here, which is obviously not going to stay blank. I'm gonna use a separate pipe and connect it to here. And this time, no spraying. I just added a really simple foam construction. I kind of connected the edges with hot glue and tried to make some kind of pattern. I didn't even prime it with anything and just painted it with acrylic paint. Then I just kind of contoured it with my silver pen again. Yeah, that's basically it. You know, the only issue with the PVC pipe is that it's pretty floppy, and that's why I used a broomstick for the staff because it's perfectly stable. These two took me 7 days. If I focus really strong, I managed to do a lot in a small amount of time, and the rest of the time I just stare into my wall. Okay, I think some of you want to see this from close up, so here you go. Well, that was it. I have no idea how she's going to react to this, and I have no idea how to transport this in my tiny car. I hope this process was interesting, entertaining, whatever. I would not suggest to use this as a tutorial because I just do whatever works for me and some of it might turn out sloppy. Oh, and by the way, did any of you play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Because I did, and I recently finished it. I mean, I played the original. I'm just not gonna say anything. Yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed this video and we're hopefully gonna see each other next time. So have a nice day, evening or night, and bye.